When you spray your lawn, do you know how much liquid to put in your sprayer? Not putting the right amount of liquid in your sprayer could cause damage to your lawn or could cause you to waste money because you're not getting a good application. And in today's video, I'm going to give you 3 easy tips to make sure you get the perfect application every single time and make sure you put down the right amount of liquid so you don't have to worry about if you did it right. What's up, y'all? My name is Devin, the DIY Lawn Coach. Hope you're doing well. Hope things are going well for you. It is a beautiful Saturday morning here in Western North Carolina, and it is gorgeous. It's going to be 70 degrees. One of my most favorite things to do in the lawn is to spray. I think it's really important that we understand the difference between a foliar application and a soil-based application, making sure you get the right amount of liquid in your tank so that you don't A, cause damage to your lawn, and B, you don't waste time or money. Those are 2 things that I don't really like to waste. So in today's video, I'm gonna help you make sure that you get the right amount of liquid in your tank, because that's a really popular question that I get. So I think it goes without saying, the first thing you have to do, so step number 1, tip number 1, whatever you wanna call it, is we have to measure our lawn. We have to know what our square footage that we're dealing with. Every application that we make, whether it's liquid or granular, is gonna tell you to put down a set amount or X per thousand. And so if you don't understand how many thousand square feet you have in your lawn, well, none of this going forward is gonna matter. So take your time, measure your lawn, do it once, do it right, and then you'll never have to do it again. And so step 2 is understanding the difference between whether we're making a soil-based application or a foliar-based application. So let's start with a soil-based application. And they are exactly what they sound like. These are applications that we're making where we want the product that we're applying to get inside the soil or down into the soil. Examples would be RGS, Humic 12, pre-emergence are a great example of a soil-based applications. And the other is a foliar-based applications. And these are applications that we're applying a product that we want to be absorbed by the plant. Examples would be a liquid fertilizer, or maybe an iron treatment or something like that, or even a fungicide. Those can be made foliar to the plant. So what we're trying to do is get the product on the plant. And so understanding the difference is going to impact the amount of carrier volume or the liquid that we're going to use to spray and broadcast across our lawn. All right, so that's great. We know the difference between a foliar application and a soil-based application, but why does that matter? Why does that change the amount of liquid that we're gonna put over 1,000 square feet for each one of these products? Let's start with a foliar-based application first, all right? So when we're applying something foliarly, I'm gonna try not to mess that up, foliarly to the lawn, to the grass, to the turf, we're trying to get it inside the plant. We actually want more liquid to go down per 1,000 square feet. Now, why is that? Well, number 1, the liquid fertilizers typically require more volume so that we reduce the concentration level of those products when they're being applied. If you were to apply a liquid fertilizer at a high concentration, so a low amount of liquid per 1,000, you could potentially burn your lawn, and that's why I was talking about earlier. Typically speaking, in a good rule of thumb, anytime we're making a foliar-based application, is we want 1 gallon of finished solution per 1,000 square feet. Finished solution, so that is to say, let's say we're gonna apply this GCI 2000 at 3 ounces per 1,000. So if I had 1,000 square feet, I would pour 3 ounces in my tank and then fill it up to 1 gallon. And then I wanna evenly broadcast that across 1,000 square feet. Now, most people aren't doing just 1,000 square feet, so we have to multiply that times the number of 1,000 square feet that we have in a lawn. Now, when it comes to a soil-based application, again, these are going to be applied to the lawn. And then when we're done applying it, we're actually going to run our irrigation system, or we're going to have rainfall or something that is going to apply more water to the product and get it washed off the leaf tissue down into the soil and then watered into the soil underneath the surface of the soil. So when we are applying a soil-based application, we actually don't need quite as much liquid per 1,000. We can actually go with about half a gallon per 1,000. Again, once it's been applied, we're then going to water it in. We're going to move that through and into the soil. Half a gallon per 1,000 when we're doing a soil-based, and a gallon per 1,000 when we're doing a foliar based. Now those are not hard and fast rules. Those are just good estimates. That's what most people say we need to apply. Now, let me give you a real world scenario and exactly what I do in my own lawn. My lawn, I told you, is 20,000 square feet. I've got 10,000 in the front and I've got 10,000 in the back. Now I like to work in 5,000 square foot increments. All right, just keeps the math easy for me. But we have a problem. My sprayer is only 4 gallons. So if I was gonna make a foliar application, I could only spray 4,000 square feet if I were to adhere to that rule of 1 gallon per 1,000 square feet. But there's a little bit of a fudge factor there. I can actually take this 4 gallons and broadcast it over 5,000 square feet. So that's little less than a gallon per 1,000. And that's perfectly okay. So how do I do that? Well, there's a big misconception. I don't know if it's a misconception, but it's just a train of thought, if you will, that we have to calibrate our sprayer. And I don't necessarily think that that's true. I think we calibrate us to the sprayer. Now, I think it's important to understand that I'm talking about a battery-powered sprayer. So this has a battery, a pump, and a wand. And so as long as I've got, a good charge on the battery and I've got plenty of liquid, I could essentially hold this wand and it would spray consistently forever. It's not going to change. You've got those pump style sprayers, and when you charge those up and you spray, as you release the liquid, the pressure goes up and down. That's why you have to keep recharging it. But with these battery powered sprayers, the pressure stays consistent. So technically speaking, I'm not calibrating the sprayer. The sprayer is going to spray at the same volume no matter what, right? It's me that needs calibration to the sprayer. So what I have determined is that for the high setting on my flow zone sprayer, it has a high and a low, I can get this 4 gallons of any liquid over 5,000 square feet, okay? And that's perfect because for a foliar application, I can get that 4 gallons over 5,000 square feet beautifully, perfectly every single time. And if I set it on the low setting, I can get this same 4 gallons to cover 10,000 square feet. So how convenient is that? And what's really nice about that is it is repeatable every single time. It is consistent every single time. As long as I keep the wand at the right height, at knee height, and I don't change my walking speed, which I don't have to do. So whether I'm making a foliar application or a soil-based application, my walking speed doesn't change. Where I hold the wand doesn't change. Nothing changes. The amount of liquid in the tank doesn't change. It's just the amount of square feet that I'm covering. And that is simply changed by flipping a switch. How cool is that? So I guess this leads me to tip number 3 as to how I get this done so consistently every single time. And it's really no secret. It's the equipment that I use. It's a high quality battery powered sprayer that is going to be able to take any of the liquids and get them through. It's not a cheap sprayer with a cheap pump that doesn't have a lot of PSI. It can handle these thicker liquids like an RGS or a Humic 12 or even Air 8 can be very thick sometimes. And the other part is the sprayer tips that I use. It gives me a nice 8-foot swath, so 4 feet to the left and 4 feet to the right, a nice even spray pattern. With my big lawn, I can get really good coverage. It comes out really nice. And the sprayer nozzles are the Nozzle Buddy from GCI Turf. I'll leave links to everything down below if you guys want to go check that out and see pricing and all that stuff. They're fantastic. So when you pair these two together, it works fantastic. It's consistent every single time. The sprayer nozzles that come with this flow zone, they're not bad. They're just not made for spraying turf. So make sure you get the Nozzle Buddy. So I hope that clears up any confusion you guys have and answer your questions about how much liquid do I need to put in my tank. Want to give it to you real easy, real simply. My name is Devin. I'm the DIY Lawn Coach. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I can't wait to see you in the lawn. Peace.